Hi, everybody. So, a wee bit of alchemy. I'm Rick Barrett. Welcome. Today, I'd like to continue our exploration into the four primary Jins of Tai Chi Chuan. And just to recapitulate, the Jin is a Jin is the spelling of it, is where you are directing your energy with your consciousness and expressing it through your body. And Tai Chi, the emphasis is on using Jin rather than pure muscular force. So that's it's really considered to be a higher level of Tai Chi Chuan whenever you're using your Jin. It also opens the door to levels of insubstantiality that you can't access if you're just kind of doing your Tai Chi mechanically. And so I have spent several sessions exploring what it means, what Jin means, and how we can train it. And I highly recommend anybody who's just coming to this cold that you kind of go back and check out the previous few classes, because we get into more depth on that. But today we're going to be talking about An Jin, which is An. An is it is the energy that is expressed in what's usually called the push posture in a Tai Chi form. And push it's an unfortunate name for this posture, and doesn't really express the energy that is being manifested in the posture. Because when we think of push, there's a sense of get away. You're trying to create space between yourself and the object that you're pushing. So there's a kind of a separation there. And there's also you're kind of pushing, and whenever you're pushing, you're using your legs to kind of push away from the earth and extend outward. You're trying to use your body's physical force to make something happen. Whereas what we're trying to do with the push posture and An Jin in the form is something quite different. In fact, it's very counterintuitive what it is we're doing, but it's where the magic happens. And I got to say that, when I was first coming up in Tai Chi, and particularly when I was competing in push hands and stuff like that for years, that was the language we spoke. That is, pushing was a very physical event, and push hands looked a lot like two bulls in a paddock, rams bashing their horns against each other, and it's not what we're looking for in Tai Chi Chuan. And it took me a while to do that, primarily because I was pretty good at using force, and so I have to say that it took a while for me to realize that I was going about it all wrong. And usually requires you're meeting a stronger counter force that says, okay, well, this isn't working. And so I then went back to the laboratory and started to look at it from an entirely different perspective. And then you're able to push people who are bigger, stronger, faster, younger, etc. And then you are tapping into the more refined aspects of Tai Chi Chuan. So let's do some exploration into the An Jin. And would you stand up, please? As is our custom, let's begin with the three pillars. Establish our body, mind, spirit integration. So you feel the three nails in your feet, the heel nail, the ball of the foot, and the big toe. Feel that on each foot. So basically, we're allowing ourselves to center over the medial line, the inside, the medial part of the body, not the lateral part, which is on the outside of the foot. So this way, we're getting more centered. We're adjusting our central equilibrium when we do this. This is the first step toward establishing our central equilibrium. It's by really getting the body's mass centered over the middle of the body. Now go to your heel nail on the inside of your foot on both feet and sink into that. Soften your legs, knees are unlocked, and feel yourself sinking down into the earth, into the floor, reaching down through that. And by doing that, by extending downward, by getting very sung or released into our structure, we then allow the energy to rise. It rises up to the bubbling well points in the center of your foot. So this is the yin qi of the earth. We're allowing that to rise, and that has it fills and supports. It gives you a root. Now reach with the crown of your head and tuck in your chin and open the jade pillow gate. And here we're reaching very gently with the head, the crown, and opening up the jade pillow gate at the base of the skull. Not forcing anything. When we reach up with the crown, then we open up the Bai Hui point at the top of the head and allow the yang qi of the heavens to come down, fill us. We mingle the earth qi coming up through the feet, the yang qi coming through the heaven from the crown or from the top of the head, the Bai Hui, and feel those mingling. So we're tapping into the big qi. We're no longer dependent strictly on our own qi. It allows us to fill up with as much energy as we can stand at the moment. Reach with your elbows, open up your shoulder joints, and just notice that just by reaching a little bit with the elbows, you create an enhanced qi flow in your hands. You can use that as your barometer. The tingling or pulsing, the sense of fullness there in your hands indicate that you've got a whole body connection now. Point and reach with your index fingers and feel the energetic coherence that comes with that. It's a subtle feeling, but it brings your body into a state of unity. Your connective tissue system aligns everything, every cell in your body, and your energy becomes highly coherent. So you create a one qi, one body effect. So we have central equilibrium, we have energetic coherence. Now let's we're unkinking the hose here. We started by opening the jade pillow gate, opening the shoulder joints, and now we're going to open the qua by just gently spiraling down, releasing the hip joints, and just very, very quietly, softly move and allow the energy to move up through the legs into the torso, from the torso down through the legs, grounding the energy. So there's this two-way flow that occurs through your qua, through your hip joint. So pause a moment and just feel into into your state. Feel into the insubstantial feelings that are occurring there. You don't have to name them. You don't have to articulate them, just feel them. And just to recapitulate creating Sung, first off is SONG, Sung. And to do that, we're going to just take your wrist and your other hand, just pick up your arm so that the arm is really empty. I just feel that, just so it's, whenever you release the wrist, your hand just drops. And this is the idea here. What we're doing is we're just creating a state of complete muscular relaxation. And that's not Sun, but it sets the stage. So now you reach down, you pick up your hand. This time you point and reach with your index finger. Point and reach. And then as you slowly let go of your wrist with your hand, you, using the least amount of muscle, you use that to hold that shape. So your arm is not, it doesn't fall, because you're allowing the energy and the connective tissue system to do its work. So now we have Sung. That is, we've released most of our muscular tension. And so now we are just relaxing into the structure. And you can do this any part of your body, but we're just doing it this way, just as a quick and easy way to see that. So now, just to feel the strength of this, we're going to point and reach. And this is where we get into Jin. So we've established the Sung, and to create the Jin, we point and reach with that index finger and push down with your other hand very gently, and then gradually increase the force of the downward push. At the same time, increase the internal pressure, the internal power that's coming from your arm, and to counterbalance that downward force. And the more force you put in, the more you kind of feel that index finger and feel that energetic coherence. And you feel the power that comes from that, which is not primarily muscular. In fact, your shoulder should have very little effort involved in that. You're working, just allowing the body itself, the connectivity of the body, to do the work for you. And then you release the shape there, and then just by creating that pointing, that shape, you're able to have some Jin. You have internal power, and Jin is a combination of muscular force and chi, energy. And the more you can move toward the proportion, so that there's more chi than muscular force, then you're getting more refined in your Tai Chi Chuan. So we try it again. You push down and you point and reach, and just feel the power that you're able to generate with very little muscular effort. And then let that go and let that drop. So that's the basic idea there. That's how we test our Jin. So that whatever posture you go into, you have the capacity to create Jin in that posture, or internal power. And doing so then gives you a lot of freedom in your movements. You then can let go a lot of extraneous muscular tension, which allows the chi to flow much more freely in your body. And also, the Jin is there at your disposal. You can create Jin anytime you want. Very simple thing to do. Now, there are different expressions of Jin, and we've been talking about them the last few weeks. We've talked about ward-off energy as expressed in the Peng Jin, is expressed in the ward-off posture. Talking about Lu Jin as expressed in the rollback. Ji Jin as expressed in the press-in posture. And now we're going to go to the fourth of the primary Jins of Tai Chi Chuan, and this is An Jin. Now, An Jin is a very complex Jin. It's more complex than the others, and rather than thinking of push as I push away from the earth and push out with my hands, that's very crude, and it kind of is the opposite of what we're looking for in this posture, in this in An Jin. We're looking for something where, with a minimum of expression, muscular expression, you can create a big effect. To get that, though, you have to learn to trust the Jin, because particularly with push, it's one of those things that immediately kicks in your reptile brain response, your fight, flight, freeze, you're gonna push away, you're gonna get away. You're creating separation. Whereas in the An Jin, you're not. You're connecting. You're connecting with the person that is the recipient of your Jin, and there's it's an entirely different mindset, and it accesses an entirely different set of skills. And so it traditionally comes after the press, it looks like this. You separate your hands come up, you sink into your back leg, your hands come down, sink into your front leg, and reach out. That's what it looks like. It's actually a fairly simple motion here. You're going like that. And that's only externally. I'll do it to the side so you can see that I've been going from pressed. I separate my hands, sink in my back leg, come down, sink in my front leg, and reach out. Notice I'm not doing this. I'm just reaching out, because there's you're just looking to connect up here. You're reaching for something or to something rather than trying to get rid of it. So what's happening here is there are several, when I say it's a complex Jin, there are several things that are occurring here. The first thing, we're going from here, the first thing is, this is like this, okay? So what's happening here is the vector of the energy is up and then back. So it's as if you're lifting with your wrists. So if I'm going like this, I'll just do it with one hand. So if I'm coming up like this, I'm lifting with my wrists as I'm coming back to here. So I'm not just pulling my hands back. There's my Jin is, it's like so if you grab your finger, you grab your index, your finger with your other hand, and you just pulling down, and you're lifting up and coming back, right? So there's this, the energy is pulling you down, and you're lifting it up. It's like you're like carrying something up here. Or you can also do it this way. You can press down and just feel that as you're coming back, right? So there is a pronounced Jin of like this. So it's up and back, right? So there's an arc to it. There's an arc to it. It's like this. Right? So we're here, we separate, boom. And to do that also, you're reaching up with the wrist, but then you're reaching down with the elbow as you bring your hand back. Like this. So getting that thing about getting your arm really released is a key to this, because you want this to be a very graceful movement. It's incredibly powerful, but it's also, you want it to look good. So, and by looking good, just you're enhancing that internal chi flow. So just for for a moment, you're just like this, just we're making circles like this, right? Coming up, reaching with the wrists back, and just getting this part of it. This is just the first part of it here. So in your front leg, sink into your back leg, and the back of your front leg, and the back leg. So this is the first part here. The vector is up and around. So and so the idea here is from a martial perspective is you're coming in here and like you're reaching up and separating. Someone's coming in like this, and you go, oh, like that, and just you easily, separate that incoming force, and it creates creates space there. But it feels really good though, just to kind of get that, and you're back here like this. Okay, now we're in the back leg now, and so we're going to sink, reach down with the elbows, fingers come up, reach down with the elbows, and hands come down. So you're here like this, and you're and there's like you're doing a mime thing where you're kind of coming down a wall with your hands like that. So it's you're painting with your hand like this. So but it's your elbows come down, your fingers come up, and you reach down. So we're going out here, we reach up, we come down and pulling down. Now here, grab your finger or your hand and just reach down with your elbow, and notice that it's quite irresistible. When you reach down with your elbow and you try to thwart that, it's just not happening. So self-training your Jin is you're training it. This is up, and then we're going the other direction now. This is down. So you're coming down like that. And there's a number of martial applications which we're not going to get into right now with that, but you can just very simply, it's like a pull down kind of is the simplest version of that. But just think of that. Just feel that you're lifting up with your other hand, but reaching down with your elbow, and it's a very irresistible force. Your internal power then is you're allowing that to be expressed. So we're here like this, and we separate, reaching up with the wrists, and then fingers come up and reach down with the elbows as you wipe down with your hands. Do that again. So you're up with the wrists, down with the elbows, up with the fingers, down. So we're down to here now. Okay. Now we're going to sink into the heel of the front foot. And this one is you're just sink into there and just release down into that front leg. Release you at the quad. You're sinking down, and then you're reaching forward with here. You want to feel like you're reaching forward with your wrists, and your fingers are just expressing that energy. So you're reaching forward with your elbows, with your wrists, and the fingers are an expression of that energy. Now, from the side, it looks like this. So I'm here like this. I think I'm in my back leg. Now I sink into the heel of my front foot and reaching forward with my wrists, and then express with my fingers. And I do that again, sink here, heel, and you want to now feel into the ball of your right foot. I'm on my right foot, so your front foot, and then you go to press down with the big toe and just reach out with the fingers. So it's sink, reach with the elbows, the wrists, fingers, go into the ball and the ball and the big toe. So it's left heel, right ball, reach. Notice I'm not reaching very far. I'm just coming out a little bit. So the testing on that, then you can, so if I go like this, boom, I'm reaching out like this, I can pull back on that and just you can feel that. You just feel give it a little bit of resistance and just using the least amount of effort, just you're reaching outward. And notice that it's really quite irresistible. So and that's because you're not just pushing with your arms. You're setting up the conditions where the energy can move through your shoulders, through your arms, and express out your fingers. So let's do, so going from the press, first thing we do, we sink the heel of the left foot. Okay, and my right foot is forward. I sink in the heel of the left foot, separate my hands, reach up with my wrists. Notice that my elbows are not like this. They're not up. They're dropped a bit. They're below, at least they're below the level of my shoulders and my wrist. As I sink into that left leg, I'm reaching up with my wrist as I come back to here. Now I sink a little more into that back leg as I reach down with my elbows, down with my wrists. My fingers are up. I'm reaching down. Till I get down, actually get down about waist height, and then sink into the heel of the right foot. And ball of the right foot, reach with your wrists. Big toe, reach with the fingers. Back to press. Reach up, sink in your back. Heel. Reach up. Sink. Fingers up, hands come down. Sink into the heel, ball, toe, reach. Lift. Your arms almost like they're floating up. It's like, and anything on them, it's like a hot air balloon. They're pulling something, pulling it upward, reaching them right here. Now we're going to reverse that, and we're sliding down the chute here to, then we sink into the heel, the ball, big toe, reach. Okay, feel that, just give yourself a little resistance here, coming up. One-handed, okay? Feel that. Now we're coming down. Give yourself resistance there. You're coming down. Feel the power there. Coming forward. Pull back and reach out. Lift. Sink. This is coming down and pulling down. And then reach. Press, sink, reach, sink, reach. Okay, so that's doing it fairly big, and that's what we do we practice it big, and then gradually make it smaller. And so that ideally what you want to do is to be able to get all those energies into a movement like this. Something just, boom, that the lift, the sink, the reach, with a minimum of motion and a minimum of muscular force. To do that, you have to practice it big so that you really can feel the An Jin, feel that power. Because what it is it's like a tidal wave. The An Jin is it's a watery energy. So like imagine that you're going whoosh. You can think of it also, you can think of it like you got a beach ball in your hand and you're pressing down into the water, into the swimming pool here, and you're going like this, and then whoosh, and the ball goes shooting out. You go, oh, and then press down and whoosh. You're lifting up and then pressing down and then whoosh. So that's the energy is the cyclical watery feeling that has this effect of tidal wave because we're using the big chi in this. Okay, that's where we go back to the three pillars. Once we tap into this, so we're feeling the yin chi of the earth, the yang chi of the heavens, and we're doing this, and we're just we're creating the structures that allow the energy to move through us unrestricted by muscular tension. And it's expressed in using the body, the connective tissue system of the body as a way of knitting this all together and being able to use that to express it. So as we practice it, then we can make it smaller, right? So we start off, let's say, really big, nice and slow here. Really sink in, feel that. Reach, press down, big toe, feel that. And we're just going to just back and forth on the, I'm not even going to go to the press here, just reach, sink, front heel, ball, toe, reach. Now we're going to do it a little smaller. Reach. And sink. Front heel, ball, toe, reach. And a little smaller still. Reach, lifting, sinking. Reach. Smaller still. Feel the same energy, same big energy, only we're doing it in a smaller container. Feel that, just hold that position, that lifting there, and just feel the energy, the potential energy that is circulating in your body right now. It's just waiting for an expression. It's expansive. We're feeling that upward pull of the arms, but we're sinking down into our legs. And now, we're gonna go yin here and reach down with the elbows, down with the wrists. I really feel that yin part. We're in the heel of the back heel, the left heel, and just feel that sinking down. Feel the yin of that. And now we're going to summon that. They're gathering the energy and converting it into yang. So we sink into the heel of the front foot, the ball, and big toe, and reach. The reach is very small now, but the energy is bigger, even smaller. Lifting with the reach up with the wrist, you feel that upward reach, and then sink down with the elbows, down with the wrist. Very small, but the energy is very big. And right heel, fall, and press. Smaller still. Up, down. Really feel the yin. Front heel, fall, reach. Smaller still. Breathe up, down, reach. Pause a moment, just feel into that. Feel the energy. And even smaller still. Up, down, reach. Now feel into that with feel to all those movements without moving. Up, down, reach. Up, down, reach. Now feel them all simultaneously. Yeah. And bring your hands down. And just feel into the energy circulating in your body right now. Feel that sense of fullness. Step in. Deep breath. Into the balls of your feet. And then sink into your heels and disappear the chi. Please have a seat. Nick.
Yeah, so I don't just it's kind of an aside, maybe. I don't know. Um, the character on that we is used by Chinese massage therapists to talk about a technique that presses deeply into the tissues, that it's kind of, reaching into. And so I was just thinking that helps to, that the point of the contact, the notion of contact that you were stressing
Is it the same character?
yeah,
Or is it's not just a homophone.
no,
It's
it's a character. And
okay.
and so and I don't, my knowledge of Chinese is like 3 words,
But he has a good dictionary.
no, I have a good dictionary, and I have also I was going to say the what's her name, Shori, the oh, how to how to do Tai Chi if you don't speak Chinese or something.
How to grasp the sparrow's tail.
Oh yeah, how to grasp the sparrow's tail. So that was the first place that I read that, and it really helps with that sense of not pushing away, but actually joining with and making contact.
Thank you. I was wondering where you're going with that, but thank you.
Yeah, sorry, it took me a while.
What's it have to do with pushing massage? So, no, I get it now. Okay, cool. Thank you. That's a good observation. So yeah, there is that sense of connection there, and what we're looking for, is that there's always this sense of uniting with the and push hands and whatnot. This sense of making contact and keeping that together. So because that's where you gain information from your partner. When you disconnect, you lost your GPS. Cool. Lynn.
So that was lovely. I was, grooving on it a lot, as we were doing it bigger. And then when we were doing it smaller, I found myself having trouble not continue. I could continue to feel it in the hands, but I wanted to take more space to shift back. Right. And so I was having a little trouble matching, hand and foot movements, which obviously means I wasn't doing it right. And it wasn't working because what I was doing was kind of staying in the back foot and connecting with my front foot, but not actually being in it, if that makes sense. Right. So I wasn't able to move the energy forward because I wasn't actually in my front foot. Right.
Well, you're probably just doing an advanced version of that where you're just staying in one foot and you're doing all the motions in one foot.
I wish that were the case, but thank you for that offer. But I did. But I'm going to click because I realized I was struggling. But then as we got smaller, I just really, did in fact kind of let go of the feet and let them be wherever they needed to go, and then just smaller was easier. It was just this wonderful little whoosh, whoosh, just energy going out.
I love the sound effects.
Yeah, well, you didn't hear them?
I got a rush from your whoosh, whoosh, whoosh there. I was like, yeah, baby, that's it. I feel your whoosh. That was good. Good. So yeah, as you make it smaller and smaller, you can do it off of 1 foot.
Yeah.
And it's once you've converted to more and more insubstantial, then it's like whatever, the back foot, front foot, whatever, it doesn't matter, because then you are primarily Jin at that point. You're primarily the insubstantial aspects of the Jin.
Right, that makes sense.
But
yeah.
we train it by big first, and then we make it smaller. Cool. Jonathan.
So I've gotten quite used working with you when we're raising the arm, that the wrist, leads with the wrist. But you're almost saying at times when we're pushing forward, leading with the wrist. That seemed a little odd. You wouldn't. Sequential act. You're not really. I don't think you would mean sequential activation of the joints, move the wrist and then the fingers as we're going forward. So I kind of do. Okay.
So this is a radical idea.
Okay. And you're great with radical ideas. I trust you with radical ideas.
I do it that way because it works, and what it is, you're reaching forward and you're focusing on your wrist.
Right.
And then at the last moment you express with the fingers. So it's like that. Boom.
Yeah, I was kind of getting
cracking a whip.
Okay. I mean, I did posit. I mean, when I was trying to make it work, or I was thinking the fingers can have a way of doing their own thing, and the body's behind them, but the wrist almost never can. I mean, the wrist is embedded in there, and like it's going to be with the whole body. It's like so there was something grounding about that and then the finger. But I know you don't want us to have, at any point dead fingers, active wrist. I mean, the fingers are alive, but they're just not, you would say, like reaching on their, you're letting the wrist kind of move us out,
You're moving with the wrist and then reaching with the fingers.
moving and then reaching with the fingers. On that first move with the wrist, you really, what do you, because when we go up with the wrist, it's almost like the fingers can just hang almost dead. It's almost even hard to activate them downward. We're going upward. I'm so focused on the wrist, I almost think of the fingers being just loose, not really involved so much. Right?
And that's really good. You really want them
Okay.
to. So they're an insubstantial expression of energy.
Yeah.
So what happens whenever I I used to say, oh, lead with the finger, lead with your index finger.
Right.
But what I
Right.
find, and you can try that right now. This is the radical idea here. Just if you're reaching out with your fingers, just straight out with your fingers, just do that, and notice what happens in your shoulder when you do that.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Okay.
I
Now
agree.
just let your fingers hang and just reach out with your wrist and notice what
Yeah.
happens with your shoulder. So just reaching out with the fingers, extending those fingers as you reach out, immediately causes the shoulder joint
Right.
shoulder muscles to tense up. Whereas if you reach
Yeah.
out with the wrist and then let the fingers express the energy at the end, then the fingers are reaching out from a very stable place.
Right.
The pivot point then becomes the wrist, and they have a very short way to go, the fingers at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost as if I think that's what I was almost experiencing when I was playing with it. Yeah, if I just do the fingers, it almost creates a void between that and the shoulders. They're like disconnected from each other. Whereas like I say, the wrist isn't. Like the shoulder can trust the wrist to do the work. But with the fingers, it's like too far. Like, what are you guys doing out there? Hey,
Yeah,
let me help.
so the shoulder tries to compensate by tightening up.
Exactly that. Yeah. Well, that's pretty brilliant, my friend.
Thank you.
Another
Nick,
radical idea. Okay.
So question, is that like almost in a sense follow through? The
finger.
real impetus comes from here and the wrist, and then the fingers are kind of the finishing, the follow through.
Another way of putting it, yeah. So they're they you can also think it was like cracking a whip, right? There's a the energy comes out at the last one, so they're very relaxed and you can see it, if you if your fingers are already locked in there and you try to reach out, there is muscular tension that
Right.
occurs that gets
Right.
in the way of your Jin.
Right.
So you had something long
Um,
time.
yeah,
You and Jonathan popped up at the same time.
Valerie did.
Yes,
Valerie did.
yes.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have any problem with it was like unfurling, okay? And feeling the wrist going forward and then the opening up of the fingers.
That's beautiful what you just did there. That was perfect.
And when we were getting smaller and smaller and smaller, it's the energy was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I didn't have any problem with that, just trying to, just getting down to no movement. And it was just like, but it wasn't explosive. It was like building and building and building. The more, with less movement and less movement and less movement, it just was getting bigger. I loved that. That was really, really good.
Nice. Very nice. Cool. Okay. Scott, you had something.
Yeah, a couple things quick. So when you've been talking about feeling the energy, I've been really, I didn't realize what I've been trying to do, what I've been doing, but what I've been doing is feeling the energy without labeling it. Because I've been labeling it and it just, kind of, I feel it, but it's not the same. But when I just feel it without labeling it, it's really wild how many different things you can feel all at once.
Great.
So I've been going to physical therapy for my elbow, and they do the thing where they put the electrodes on your arm, right? And so I'm there today, and he puts the electrodes on my arm, and he's turning it up, and tell me when it's enough, right? And most people are like at 10 or 12, and we passed 10, we passed 15, we passed 20, we passed 25. About 28 or so, it started to feel it. And I was like, okay, at 31, it was like, okay, yeah, that's enough. So, and I think that's because the chi is moving in my body, right?
Mm.
Right? It's electrical energy. And I think there's no blockages. So, and he was looking at me like, are you sure? I'm not feeling it yet. Just a little tingly.
That's funny.
And then actually that was yesterday. Today he did my shoulder, which is got blockages, and I got to about 11 and I was like, oh yeah, that's enough. So I definitely,
You're talking about the TENS machine?
yeah, it's what the ones that they use at the physical therapy place. It's a big machine, but it's got like 4 electrodes, and yeah, I guess it's the same as the TENS. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, anybody else? Great. Thank you all so much. It's been a whole lot of fun. And
Yeah.
great.
Thank you, Maria.
Thanks, Maria.
Thank
Love
you.
you, Maria.
Like Maria.
You're
Love
the
you
best.
guys.
Love you too.
Love you.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.